Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Funbox Monster Podcast. My name is Tristan.
I am Matt Awkward.
And today we're going to be discussing Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings.
Yes. The superior Pumpkinhead movie.
I'm
much better than part one.
Honestly, I kind of can't argue with you on that one. It's lower budget. It's got a lot of dumb stuff, but I kind of agree. I think it is more enjoyable.
2 words. Amy Dolenz.
I know that you have a crush on Amy Dolenz.
Forever crush, I call it. Thank you very much.
I have 3 words for you. Soleil Moon Frye. Same. Yes. So it has some interesting people in it, and it has this weird lead who looks like a combination of like Casper Van Dien and Pee Wee Herman, which is real strange. I like that dude.
Yeah.
But
he was also the dude in Return of the Living Dead 3.
Yeah. That's like those are like his only 2 major credits, I think, and I think he just kind of quit.
But he did good at both of them.
He did. He's great.
Great job.
He's great. He's
guys whose name I have no idea.
I'll just call him Sexy Pee Wee Herman.
Yep,
I don't
works.
know. Basically, I mean, I hate to say that Pee Wee Herman isn't sexy because I think everybody knows that that's not true. Rest in peace. Rest in Pee Wee. Anyway, let's talk about Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings.
And that's what we're here for, right?
That is what we're here for. This movie, I complained about the credit sequence in the first one.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
You thought they didn't try hard in the first one. Yiminis.
Well, we put a red screen up. Do you need anything more than that?
Nah, I don't need more than that. That's pretty good.
If we do a picture of the blood wings that don't make any sense, that's cool, right?
Yeah. They tried.
Yeah.
They tried. The Blood Wings thing is...
The Blood Wing things is hilarious. Like, they call it this. They have the Blood Wings paintings. Like,
they're trying too hard.
It's like, why, though? What?
You're not... Quit trying to make Blood Wings work.
Yes.
You're never going to make Blood Wings
I just
work.
want to know if the Blood Wings later on in the movie magically appeared, or did Pumpy, like, tiptoe in there and paint every single
one of them. I mean, it has to be that. I mean, we haven't noticed him have any other
powers. Yeah.
So we have to assume that this is
unless the witch did it from the hospital bed.
This is a Batman 3 situation
yeah, right?
where there's a giant flaming bat signal on the side of the...
This is going to be so cool.
Oh my God, 4 hours from now when I finish painting this thing with Gelignite.
Oh my God, this city's never going to forget this.
Admittedly, lots of people are dying while I'm doing this, and I am exhausted, so when I fight Bane, I'm probably gonna die. But man, this is great.
God, I hope this looks cool when I step back.
Oh shit, it's out of control. I burned down Gotham. Oops, I used a lot of Gelignite.
I'll buy a new one.
I'll buy a new Gotham. Anyway, but we start as we ended the last film with a big old fire. And it's very clear that we're getting a shot on video, like direct to video kind of feeling thing here.
It's not shot on video though.
But it looks very SOV to me.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
if it's not shot on,
it's budget shows.
If it's not shot on high video, then then
maybe it was. I don't know.
Then their cinematographer is a monster.
I'm a total moron when it comes to like film stock.
I mean,
what do you call those? Technical specifications. I just don't care about.
I'm pretty bad with that too sometimes, but I mean, this looks very video-ish. I mean, everything stands out. Admittedly, I have a weird TV that literally will not allow me to change off smoothing, so it could just look like a video to me.
Okay.
But I mean, it
looks quintessential 90s
direct
straight to video horror.
Yes.
Which
absolutely.
is a look I love.
Yeah.
So I have zero complaints here about how this looks.
I mean, we start out with we get the cabin from the last movie, and instead of being so that last movie, it was this just ultra stylized, beautiful set piece. And this is clearly just a redressed cabin. They kind of took an existing piece of land and just were like, well, it's got a cabin on it. We'll just put some spooky stuff on it. And it's not as good as the first one, but it's cool.
Yeah.
And this is where we're introduced to... I guess we're introduced to the idea that we're back in time by the fact that the director does it's black and white.
Yeah.
It's back in time.
Well, it does say 1958 on the I mean, it tells you that too.
Well,
Just in case the black and white didn't clue you in.
I was like, I think that the director had the Calvin and Hobbes dad syndrome, where he's like, oh, color wasn't invented until the 60s.
Yeah, right.
Everything was in black and white back then.
If it's a flashback, it has to be in black and white.
Of course. I wouldn't know that it was the Old West unless it was sepia tone.
Yeah.
But
like the creasers wouldn't give out the time period.
You'd just think that it was a modern Stephen King story. So we get our witch, we assume it's the witch from the first movie.
What do they call her in this one? Osi? Oh,
I think that's what they called her in the other one too.
Did they?
It's something like that. It's OC or LC or
okay,
something along those lines. But she comes out and you're like, and she's feeding a freak some giblets, basically.
Yeah.
It's like we're supposed to feel terrible for her loss later on, and it's like, is that your son that you have chained up in the yard like a dog?
but he wasn't chained up.
I mean, well, yeah, but he's like, feeding him.
But at the same time, he seemed like he had the intelligence to come inside with her.
He's a child. He's a human
Yeah,
child
so, like,
who
why-
acts like a human.
Yes, so why wasn't he just living in the house with her?
Exactly. Exactly my point. I'm
It's like,
saying
I gotta
that
go
this
out and
witch
feed this
is a monster.
feed this kid like a stray.
Yeah. No, it's totally weird.
I'm not having you track mud in the house.
Okay, but we do find out later. This is actually a question that I have for the movie as a whole. Who is Pumpkinhead in this movie?
He is Tommy.
Is Pumpkinhead always Tommy?
But
is
no,
so
there's two Pumpkinheads because the witch later on says that Pumpkinhead
Is his father.
Tommy's dad.
now they later are like, you're Tommy, but doesn't it make more sense that that's just Pumpkinhead getting revenge for his son being killed? I mean, I know that is not a contention that the movie makes at any point, because she literally, like, at the end, the only reason he survives is because he acknowledges that Tommy that he saved Tommy's life. And it's like, but wouldn't it make more sense if it's like, I tried to save your son's life, and Pumpkinhead is like a demon.
Too.
However, we do have this transfer of the Pumpkinhead mantle from person to person.
We do. So the witch is not Tommy's mom, right?
I assumed she was.
You assume the witch was.
Yeah. I assumed she had sex with the demon known as Pumpkinhead.
Okay.
And that she gave birth to this half demon, half child. And they're basically like,
I wonder where the original dad wandered off to.
the like Pumpkinhead?
Yeah.
Back to hell, I assume. I mean, because this is a Christian mythos thing. I mean, I assume that we're just talking about somebody who's like a witch who had like summoned a demon, had sex with a demon because she wanted to have a child. And this, like, if I was going to make a
probably
backstory,
try a singles bar.
you would think. I mean, for witches, a goth bar. I mean, is what I'm saying. I don't know. It seems like she would have had more luck just saying, "Hey, does somebody want to have sex with me?"
Yeah.
And then probably somebody would have said yes.
Well, maybe she always looked like the old witch.
You know what? I know a thing or two about dudes, and I'm going to say she'd probably still have some luck.
Yeah, you're right.
I think she's fine. And you know what? I think that most of her problem is the outfit she's wearing. I think that if you just dolled her up a little bit, I think that
it's just way too frumpy.
Well, it's not the frumpiness. It's the fact that it looks like it has never been washed in like literally hundreds of years.
Did you see a washer dryer in her cabin?
She does not have, but she could go in town. We know that she lives on a main road because people keep driving their trucks up to her house.
And she could probably meet somebody at the laundromat that isn't a Pumpkinhead.
Unless it's a Pumpkinhead only laundromat, which they have in that town.
Just doing laundry.
Because again, Pumpkinhead in a shirt is hilarious. Like, how much better is that monster in a Hawaiian shirt?
I want to see him in like a big oversized Garfield t-shirt nighty thing.
Like a Troll 2.
Like I don't do Mondays, big long shirt.
Would love that. I think that's great. I don't know why they don't have us making Pumpkinhead movies. I don't know why the massive corporation that owns the Pumpkinhead license doesn't pay us millions of dollars to make Pumpkinhead movies.
Y'all know where to find us.
Quit giving it to the Steven Spielbergs of the world. Seriously. And hand it over to us.
Their time is over.
These big multi-billion-dollar companies making Pumpkinhead movies. Anyway, okay. So
actually, I would love a Pumpkinhead reboot if that happened.
Absolutely.
That was decent.
It's a no-brainer. It would be an easy thing to do, and it's such a by the numbers story, but also good that it's like you can translate this into anything.
Yep.
It could go modern day. You could go period piece. You could do whatever you wanted. I mean, again, wouldn't that have been a much better addition to this if we had had a backstory for the witch?
Yeah, I'm frankly shocked that this movie gave such a big finger to the first and didn't carry anything over. Like, I mean, we even left with like a Lance Henriksen Pumpkinhead being buried. You know, the corpse of the necklace. Like, why isn't Lance like? It just doesn't care. It's just like, oh, that happened. We're gonna do our own thing.
Yeah.
I did hear, and I'm not that this was actually not originally a Pumpkinhead script.
Sounds right.
And that totally tracks.
It does track.
Kind of just like where they shoehorn Pinhead into everything else later on in the series.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
why wouldn't
you could put that information in there very easily.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you do a direct sequel to the first? Very strange.
It is very strange. Yeah, I mean, again, if we just changed it to the fact that the kid dies and it's literally Pumpkinhead avenging himself.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, these kids bring Pumpkinhead back to life, and then he, by being back to life, all he's going to do is get revenge on, on those people that killed his son.
Yep.
Sure, I'm into that.
That would work. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why he would care, because he's probably resting in hell. Probably Tommy went to heaven, and that's what's pissing him off.
Ah, yeah.
Because Tommy was
a good boy,
an innocent soul.
Yeah.
Again, I don't.
He just wanted to eat his dog food and play with his fire truck.
Jesus Christ! Get that kid some chicken nuggets or something. Come on, man. The plate of giblets was no good. Anyway, all right, we get some 50s toughs from a Stephen King story.
It's total. Sometimes they come back.
Sometimes they come back again for more. Part 2 again, the third. And they know about a guy who's got some physical deformities, and they're like, we should probably kill him for that.
That sounds like a fun afternoon.
Great. And they go pretty deep. They go cartoonishly deep, I should say, into this idea that they're a baseball team, because like they're all. It's funny that they try to push this into being like an auto club, because they're all clearly on the same baseball team. They beat him up with a baseball bat. They make baseball references. Round the first base, hit a home run. It's a ground fly. Like fucking.
Yeah, they don't mention cars at all.
Exactly. Why don't you just say that they're a baseball team? Because maybe it would be hilariously like a Batman 66 villain.
Well, if it was a baseball team, there'd be like 20 of them though. So that's why I think they had to whittle it down, but.
Wow, that would be tough to fit them all in a car.
Yes. Luckily, they're in an auto club, so they must all have their own cars to be in that club, but they just all ride one.
You could also just say that it's only a few people from this baseball team that are there, but whatever.
My high school never had any auto clubs like that. I don't think.
I dropped out of high school as a freshman, so I don't know. So I'm totally unfamiliar with this trope. Speaking of me dropping out of school. Jocks being violent monsters and total turds and abusing people.
That's just a that's movie myths.
Some sort of weird movie thing. Yep. I don't get it. Anyway,
I just ignore that shit.
They beat him up and then stab him with their official Stephen King switchblades.
Dude, the one thing I find interesting about this is there's so many movies where they have these scenes like this. You know what I mean? Like where one of the guys will turn and be like, "Hey, I thought we were just scaring him. Hey, dude, whoa!"
Everybody's down.
Everybody's just like, "Oh shit, dude, you're cutting them all up with a knife and stabbing him." Yeah, dude. Like, not one of them is like, "Whoa, bro."
It's impressive to find that many people who are willing to go serial killer.
After you cut them all up, let's drop them down a mine shaft.
Great. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Like, not one of them is like,
There isn't a single person with a
go
conscience.
Home now.
Yeah. It is funny that there is always that person in these, and this does not have. I
find it funny
person.
That they don't. I commend it for it.
Yeah, absolutely. They are all down, and so he falls down a well and presumably dies there. And so let's see. We cut to the future.
Present day.
Sure, present day of 1990, whatever. And we get the dad from Hellraiser as the sheriff.
Yeah.
And
with a mustache.
And he's got a mustache. There's some boring dialogue. We learn that he doesn't get along with his daughter very well.
No, and he's kind of he's starting a new life over here in this small town because there's just too much rabble-rousing going on in the big city.
He was doing too many car chases and
I gotta
action and excitement.
I gotta get my daughter out of there.
Yes. I mean, probably, considering how down to do pretty much anything she is at this point, she could she's somebody who, like, if given the chance, would be like, crack? Sure.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I've seen more badass stuff than crack. Give me that.
Give me that. Yeah. She would just be down for anything. Oh, you're going to murder him like that? I'll show you how you murder a hobo. Anyway.
She is a uneven character, as much as I love Amy. True. Not her fault, but script fault. No, like,
absolutely.
She's just like, she doesn't seem like she's a badass.
Nope.
But she plays that card up. She falls for Danny when he's got
nothing.
Zero redeemable qualities except a sweet Mustang.
I mean, he's
like, what? Why are you drawn to this guy?
I mean, he is the epitome of a '90s hot guy, though. So I mean, it could
he's
just
hot, but he's
literally
just,
be
such
that
a cocky drunk. Like,
he is a Charles Manson, you know, and he proves it from the beginning too. So I don't see why, even if she's trying to prove herself, why is she trying to prove herself to like what she already assumes is a bunch of hicks? She's like, she thinks of them as a bunch of hicks, so I don't know why she's trying to look cool in front of them, but she does.
Look cool.
She does look cool. They all do. They look like a fucking Levi's commercial, like a 501 commercial from 1992.
Or, fuck man, they're Bugle Boy.
Or oh my god, it's a Bugle Boy.
Or the one kid's Bugle Boy, the whiny bitch there that gets killed.
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. They're all hanging out and smoking a joint in their convertible. And that's where we meet Danny Dixon.
Yeah.
And he's just like, for some reason, he's single, probably because everybody in this town knows that he's basically a serial killer in training. And
takes after his old man.
And he just instantly, the second he meets this girl, just starts hitting on her. I mean, again, she is attractive.
Girls love that.
I mean, they love somebody who won't take no for an answer and it looks really desperate.
Yeah.
That tends to be a thing that they go for.
He's a charmer.
He is not. Again, he's good looking, and that is about as far as it goes. He is not charming in the least. But she's a real New York tough badass, and so these young, fresh fellows don't affect her in the least.
Nope.
Whatever. I've done delinquent stuff all the time. What are you going to go do? Delinquent stuff? Oh, damn. I'll come do delinquent stuff.
It's like, I just got here 5 minutes ago. Give me the joint. Let's go skip school.
Yep.
And she does.
She does. And she does not. Again, you are correct in saying that she is not. She doesn't behave in a way that would make you think that she's that person.
Exactly. Yeah. She's at home. She's all super nice with her parents all the time, doing dishes for them, and
also even
she does not seem like a rebellious teen by any means. But
she is dressing very specifically to fit in with a preppy demographic too. So it's like you don't look at her and go, "Wow, she's rebelling." Like if she was rebelling against her parents, you'd think that she'd be dressed all in black. She'd have a fucking Slayer shirt or take on some subculture.
I want to see Dolan's as a punker.
Agreed. Like why isn't she wearing a ripped up Sid Vicious shirt with a chain and a padlock around her neck? Something like that. Like that would be awesome. I would be totally into that, and that's more the way that this would make sense. And also, that look is always so much more visually appealing.
Yeah, weird choice.
It's just so much more fun.
It would totally work too.
Yeah, totally. Oh well. We also get after this they all drive off and go delinquent stuff having, and we get introduced to the local judge and some various local hillbilly color characters. Some various dumbasses. They all know each other because they can't afford to have superfluous characters in this movie. So that's what's great about this is like you're introduced to these Stephen King characters where it's like, local random farmer hillbilly.
Yeah.
No. He's not a throwaway. Don't worry. He's part of the whole thing. Everybody you meet is all part of this. So Sheriff gets his physical, which is
this whole... What is going on here? You need to go see this doctor, get your physical. Okay, while he's getting the physical, she's like, hey, the mayor's here. Oh, cool, send him in. The cop doesn't even have his pants buttoned up yet. It's like, yeah, come on in. And then when the mayor does come in, He's there to get his guitar? Like, what is your guitar doing at the doctor's office? Why are you here? Why is anything?
I almost spit out my water. I totally forgot about that.
It's so wonky.
I mean, I can explain it. I mean, they were probably 2 days away from filming, and somebody said, the president's brother is a wannabe country singer, and he would be in this movie. And they went, Are you fucking kidding me? Well, we'll write in something for him. And so they write in a mayor, and they're like, why is he come in? I don't know.
I don't care. We got Bill Clinton's brother.
Exactly. Bill Clinton's brother's going to be in it. So whatever. He shows up and walks through the door while he's having a physical. And that's why they wrote it. And then the day that he showed up, he's like, guys, this doesn't really show that I'm a country musician. Can you have my guitar show up at some point? I guess we can have the doctor having just operated on the guitar.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
Yeah,
all right, good enough. We don't care. And this is also...
Do you think that's really big a drawer, though? Like...
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
He was in the trailer, too.
Absolutely.
But who gives a shit about him?
100%.
I don't. I mean, I didn't even... They don't say it's Bill Clinton's brother, but that sounds like the draw. But like at the same time...
It absolutely was. And I remember at the time, because he was in this was on talk shows... This was like
really?
It was talked about on news programs.
Oh my God, who cares?
Somebody. I mean, it's something that you can send out in a news blast to be like, Bill Clinton's brother's in a slasher movie or whatever, or a horror movie or a monster feature or whatever. And people laugh at it because he was the joke brother, like Billy Carter. He was the new Billy Carter. It's like, oh, he's trying to have a country career. He's trying to do this. So they wanted to pigeonhole him as this dumb hillbilly and like make fun of him, and so they kept running all these things about what he was up to.
Oh, it's so strange.
And I absolutely remember, I think there was literally a talk show where this movie was discussed, like Donahue or something.
Yep.
That I was like, I remembered seeing it and being like, what is happening? Why is Pumpkinhead?
I guess
on
when I think about it that way, I can see it as getting the word out
Yeah.
about the movie.
That's all it is.
But I can't see it as a selling point. Like, I didn't see that and be like, oh shit, Roger Clinton's in this? I gotta rent
No.
this.
No.
I see
no,
now.
it's about,
okay.
it's because...
That's what
because
what I was feeling was like at the first time, and I was like, who cares? Like, I don't care about Roger Clinton.
People will write 50 different types of think pieces about it where they're like, is it appropriate for the president's brother to be doing this? Look at how stupid he is for doing this. Look at how cool it is that he's in a horror movie. And so you get every 1,000 angles on it, and that sells your movie. It's just
gotcha. Now it makes sense.
I mean, I don't want to come at anybody, but it's sort of like putting Shelley Duvall in a movie right now. I don't.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry, everybody. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So, should I cut that out? Nope. I'm leaving it. Anyway.
Yeah, we don't edit here.
We don't edit shit, even if I say something stupid. But speaking of something stupid, the doctor has the unfortunate role of being the person of color introduced to explain that she has a sorcery family tie for some voodoo bullshit that they put in it.
She knows she's got a long family history of witch doctors.
Nice choice of words too.
That's what they said.
I know.
Okay.
It wasn't no, it was a nice choice of words for them.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's pretty dumb. Anyway, Roger Clinton is actually not all that bad in this. He's
fine.
He's smarmy and like, oh, thanks, darling.
I think he does a great job.
He's got that Clinton charm, so it works. And so he has to go play a gig. He leaves. But even the mayor, this town is so small that the mayor's like, well, I hope that your daughter's being careful, because this may seem like a small town, but we got some pretty dastardly folks around here. Some of them look like they're in Bugle Boy jeans commercials.
And one of them's even my son.
Oh my God, I forgot that. It's like, you wouldn't want him hanging around with my son. No, wait, isn't that the judge?
Yeah. That's right. Oh, whoops.
The judge's son. Yeah. Either way, doesn't matter. So don't get mixed up with bad kids. So they all go out and party at the well, which just looks like a blast. The well. Because there was a kid murdered there, and so they're going to have some dangerous fun. They're going to swing a big hook at each other. And
it's so funny that they're all about that because, like, I just feel that these kids have lived in this town their whole life, and that place would just obviously get old. Like, if you had a bottomless pit well like that, that'd be fun to look at. But I mean, if you live in that town, and you're totally familiar with it. I just don't see you going back for more and more and more. Or maybe they took the new girl there.
You know what?
Just like she had to swim the crypt in Children of the Night. Now she's got to swing the pit in Pumpkinhead 2.
They should have done that. They should have said that it was a ritual.
You got to swing the pit.
You got to swing the pit.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. And then they could have told the story because then it would have made it scarier. They could have done it at night. They should have brought her out there in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Done a fake scare with grabbing her from below.
Yep.
Come on, guys. And also, you know what else is lazy about this? It looks exactly the same as it did in the 50s.
Yeah.
And it's
no, it does not. It's in color.
Oh, right. You're right. That maybe that was the graffiti that was done to it. Like, people graffitied it until it was in color. It actually is in black and white in the real world. Yeah. And some very talented graffiti artist was out there and colorized it. His name is Ted Turner, and he took care of it. No, but I mean, the place should have been spray painted to shit. Everything should have been carved. The railings should have been broken.
Yep.
Like, it should have shown decay. They should have rebuilt it, made it ugly, and painted it so that the wood looked like it was rotting and falling apart. It's like, but it looked like it was yesterday, and it was 30 years ago.
Yep.
It's like that should not have looked the same.
It probably just cost money they did not want to spend.
I mean,
or did not have to spend.
It's also possible. Yeah. Again, it is a direct to.
Yep.
And they had a very expensive monster to make, which looks
awesome.
Great. They did a killer job, and it's so impressive that I honestly like it better than the first monster. That is a really controversial statement, but I mean, I think
I'll say it too. I think the monster in the first movie looks great, but I think
it does.
Yeah, I think there's way more cooler shots of the monster in this, and his face, the expressions that he makes are great.
Yeah, it's more expressive than it was in the first movie, and I think by choosing to have him be just a dude in a rubber suit, it just looks better. Yep. I mean, I think because he was Stan Winston. And I think we probably said this in the first one, but I think that he just wanted to do a technical challenge. He was like trying to challenge himself to something. He's like 9 foot tall monster. Imagine how cool that would be. Yeah. You know, I like the alien, but he wasn't imposing enough. What if I had made an alien that was 9 feet tall? You know, I mean, he did with the Queen, but I mean, it would have been cool to have that work, but it just works better as a suit. Yeah, it really does. Like, I just really liked him as a suit, even though all we had was Dutch angles and flashing lights for most of the scenes. But that worked well.
He brings his own strobe light.
He does.
He's like, I'm going to set up the strobe over here, grab my paintbrush and make some nice little wings. Then I'm going to hide behind this door and just wait for somebody to go, what the hell are these wings? And I'm going to be like, brah!
He does sound an awful lot like a theater kid from my hometown. It's so funny. We were talking about this earlier, but it's like, I remember how boring things were in the 90s that like multiple friends of mine had owned strobe lights, and would bring them to parties, and there was so little to do or think about that we had opinions on which strobe light was the best strobe light. It was like, no. You got to bring Bruce's strobe light because that's the one that's like, it's got the clicker and it's really like, the other one, it's kind of pulses and it's just not as good. This one's just like fucking awesome.
Did you grow up Northern Maine?
Yes, I did. I grew up near many potato fields. So it was mostly drinking, underage sex, and strobe lights.
I also had a strobe light because I kept seeing them in movies. Yeah. I think maybe the Doom Generation was the one that really broke me, and I was like, I need to get a strobe light. They, went to Spencer's Gifts, and I was like, oh man, this is trippy. And you know what I mean?
Is.
And then after like 5 or 10 minutes, you're like, okay. And then I think that strobe light just like sat in the closet for years until.
That's because you weren't getting high.
Oh no, I was. But
you even got bored of it while you were high.
Yeah.
That's how exciting it is down here in Portland. Jeez, some people.
I was in Shapley.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That's better than Presque Isle.
It is.
Anyway, let's see. Where are we at? Oh, right. They're partying at the well. And this is where I noticed that Soleil Moon Frye barely ever looks into the camera. It is crazy. She is like looking sideways, or she is like It's like she doesn't want anyone to see her.
Huh, I didn't notice it.
It's really funny. Later on, she gets a few shots like straight on, but it was like she's just trying to avoid that camera. She's
weird.
Like, can't believe I'm in Blood Wings. What am I doing here?
I just found out that she made a documentary called Kid 90. Have you seen that? You've seen that?
Yeah,
okay.
It's great.
And I guess I have some footage from her time on set in here.
I don't remember that, but yeah.
So I want to check that out. I mean, it sounds interesting as a whole, but mainly I want to see some Pumpkinhead 2 behind the scenes footage.
It's really good. I mean, it's funny because it is really like it's a bit like wallowing in like high school drama. It feels like in some places, but it also is like it's kind of cool because it's all of those like teen stars of that time, and there's some cool stuff.
It's got me curious. I want to check it out.
It's really interesting because all that teen star shit is so terrible. It's pretty interesting. There's also an Alex Winter documentary called Show Kids, I think.
Oh, neat.
Which is really good about that stuff too. So both real fun or depressing or both. Anyway, partying
at the well.
Oh yeah.
But then her dad shows up.
Yes, absolutely. And not before shows up just like he has a sixth sense about smooching. Because literally Danny like kisses her. It was like an excuse. She swings across the thing and it was like an excuse to grab her and kiss her.
Yeah.
And you get kind of the idea that he was going to do something that she wasn't okay with if somebody hadn't shown up. Because he's such a fucking deviant.
Yeah.
You're like, was this going to get really dark? And then it's just like, we don't know, because the sheriff shows up and then puts an end to it.
I don't think so, because all his friends were there. Or at least I'd like to give the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, you mean all of his friends that resurrected a demon and then murdered an old lady in a fucking thatched hut?
Only he did that, really. That was like all him. Everybody else just kind of got sucked along for the ride.
What was great was when his one friend at the end is like, I saw you beat that old lady up and leave her in the middle of a flaming hut. And it was like, so you could have saved her? You are literally just as complicit as he is in her death.
I hope you get thrown through a window, kid.
Yeah, I hope that does happen. Anyway, so Jenny, the daughter, gets taken away in the police truck thing. And she's a fucking idiot. Like, there's no way around it. She does this teenage thing that's so stupid, where she's like, first you tell me to make friends, then you don't like the friends that I make. And it's like,
you're skipping school on the first day of
and trespassing on private property and smoking weed
and
when
drinking
it's fucking
beer.
illegal and you're underage drinking. You're literally, there's like fucking 4 felonies going on here at once. And that is not the point. The point was not the friends. It was literally the criminal offenses that you were taking part in.
Damn, girl. Try Glee Club next time.
Stick with crime. Anyway, so she fake promises not to hang out with the bad influences.
She gonna break that promise.
She's gonna break that promise. That guy's just too hunky. Anyway, later that night, they all go hang out. Oops. In spite of what she said to her dad. And they say, we're going to go have some real fun. Now we're going to go know what you did last summering.
Let's go drinking and driving and turning the headlights off, because this is a good idea.
Yes.
But to be fair, man, we do dumb things when we're kids.
I would love...
Not going to lie, I've been there. I would
love to say that is something that I have never done. I'm a fucking idiot, and I was a fucking stupid teenager.
Yep.
So, God damn it. Oh, God, I was so stupid. Ugh, it's embarrassing.
We're somehow still alive.
Somehow. Because God has cursed us.
It's like, fucking, I don't want you up here.
Yes. Okay, so anyway, they drive around with the lights off, drunk. And, of course, as you always do, you hit a witch. What are you going to do?
They ignored that witch crossing sign and everything.
There's a thumping noise. She flies out from behind the truck and she jumps back up on her feet and she's like, woof, woof, and dusts herself off. blind lady, don't walk in the middle of the road. I'm just going to say, blind lady, middle of the night, don't walk in the middle of the road. She may not. She may be so blind that she doesn't know night from day, so that is also possible.
Those eyes see more than you can see.
But apparently they don't see fucking Chryslers, so I don't know what the hell that's about. Anyway.
It's a Ford.
Who cares? Anyway, so she's just that crazy lady that lives in Warren Hollow, whatever it is,
sure.
Whatever they say. And so luckily Punky Brewster knows where she lives, because fucking aside from Punky knows everything, everybody knows where this witch lives because she's on a fucking main thoroughfare.
Everybody except Ed Harvey from the last movie.
I mean, you say that, but he just pulled up in his truck.
Yeah.
It's not like, again, he didn't have to pet cemetery it through the woods.
Yeah.
He drove his truck down a road and then stopped at the house that wasn't even off the road. It wasn't like the road continued past the I don't know. I feel like there was a 7-Eleven like 30 feet away.
That'd be great.
Now, you're going to need to go down this old road right next to the Big Apple. You can't miss it.
She sends Ed to there. You need to go to this grave. Dig up this body. Oh, and can you stop and get me some nachos and a Slurpee on your way back?
Bring me back one of those hot dogs that rolls on the little spinner. Oh my God, you are evil, lady.
Yeah.
Oh.
Find me the oldest looking one.
This lady's disgusting. She sure sounds like somebody who would feed her son giblets.
Yeah, and pick up some Alpo for Tommy.
Pick up one of them dog foods that makes its own gravy. He really loves that. That'll be a real special treat for him. Anyway.
I'm dead.
So, okay. She lives in the cabin that was way cooler in the first one. And they break into her house because they're stupid teens. They light her candles. And
this is so convoluted where they find this spell. I don't get it.
So they walk across this big, clearly marked, like, looks like an ancient evil pet cemetery, type grave site. It's clearly marked with a magical rune of some sort. It looks evil as shit. It's part of some sort of magical ritual. Yeah. They go inside, and it's like the lady has built a miniature of this grave site inside her home. Like a perfect miniature of it. Blind. Amazing.
Yeah.
Very Alicia Masters from the Fantastic Four of her to do that.
All she needs now is a model train to go.
That would be great. I would be very happy with that. But for some reason she has this, and on top of it is what looks like a piece of human skin with a spell on it.
Which Punky could just pick up and
Punky's like,
read it.
Again, they don't make Punky goth enough. Punky should have been the goth chick.
Yeah.
And then if she was the witchy Wiccan type.
Yep.
Perfect. Because she looks like a regular kid. She looks like a regular preppy kid.
A Wiccan could look like a regular kid. You're just being judgmental.
I sure am.
And superficial.
I'm using shitty film language is what I'm doing.
Yeah, but yeah,
she should have looked like she was like at the end of
right
the
out
Craft.
of the Craft.
Right.
Yeah. Yep, you're right. Totally.
Like third act of the Craft looking black makeup and shit. Yeah. But she picks it up and she's like, check this out. Looks like it's from the Book of the Shadows, and
I love that line.
It's from the Book of Shadows.
It's from the Book of Shadows. You know, the Shadow Book.
You know the most famous grimoire in the world, the one that I've seen. And she's like, and she says, I think it's a spell to bring back the dead. Holy shit! I mean, she is no poser witch.
No,
if she's like. Because this thing was clearly not written in English. It was written in some sort of
magic and
runes.
Shit,
Yeah. And so they find a little vial of demon blood that is apparently the blood of the damned, which is identified as such by the old woman when she comes in later. So, dumb guy number one, Danny, says, now we found some real danger.
Yeah, let's go bring back a dead body, I guess. After what's got to be hours and hours and hours of digging.
Amazing. That it does not sound like fun.
No, God,
this does not sound like fun.
You know what
whatever.
This is? This, from my memories as a teenager, this is something that would sound like a good idea. and then you'd start digging, and then like half an hour into it, you're like, this sucks. You guys want to go to Wendy's?
Shouldn't we all just be pairing off and making out? Like, isn't that kind of the point of this whole thing? I thought that was the point, and not maybe resurrecting the dead.
Yeah.
But what do I know about teens? Nothing. So
I am bothered by this scene though.
Yeah.
Just to fast forward. Yeah, they get into a tussle with the old lady, knock her down, and they go off to dig up that body. But it just seems so weird that they would do this. Like,
yes,
I don't find any motivation for them to go through all this and if what are they going to do once they resurrect the body? Like, they think it's just going to dance or something and then walk away from it, or like what is their goal here?
What is their goal? This is the question. I do not know. I would have preferred it if they had made it a shorthand. It seemed like the fact that there was a miniature version of that gravesite inside the house was an excuse okay, here's the other. I have two problems here.
Yep.
Whatever you kids do, don't take the blood of the damned that I keep right there on this miniature version of the thing right next to the spell that I have to bring back the dead. Hey, lady, I got a crazy idea. A, put a child lock on that shit. Or B, don't have the blood of the damned.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Or C, just stop talking.
Just don't tell them what it is. But she gets upset that they resurrect the thing, and then she's excited that they've resurrected the thing, and it's like, what did you want, lady?
Yeah.
Like, do
you want Tommy back or not?
If they had a moment of, like, again, she doesn't get enough backstory. They waste too much time on superfluous crap when they could have been telling the witch's backstory, and that would have led to any kind of motivation for this whole thing, where she's like, it shows her putting all of this together, and she's sacrificed a certain amount of things. That's the skin from her back. She's pulled skin off her body and written the spell on it. And then she's like, I can't do this. I know who the father is. The father was the most evil demon, blah, blah, blah. If Tommy comes back and he's anything like his father, then he'll be so evil that he won't be able to be controlled. I can't do this. And just sets it aside. But it's like,
bruh, why aren't they hitting us up to write Pumpkinhead movies?
I don't know. But they don't. And it's just like, for some reason, they have this thing. I love that you have your Dutch angle there. That is really fucking ridiculous.
I can set up my camera any way I want.
You know what? That is your right as an American.
Go to Coast City Comics Maine on the YouTubes to watch the video version of this.
Yeah, please.
Which will soon be improved.
And yeah, absolutely. And you can comment that you want Matt to put his camera a little more normal sauce. Okay, so I also love this. The dumb guy, when they're in there, he's like, hey, doesn't this look like that grave I tripped over? Verbatim. That is the line when he sees the miniature. Yeah, pretty funny. Anyway, okay, so we go through that whole thing. These eyes see more than you know, boy. She tells Danny that he doesn't know the evil that he's going to be conjuring, and so he beats the shit out of her.
Because he's a good boy.
He's a good dude. And then we know they're going to do this, so they dig up the corpse, and
they go through the ritual.
Apparently, they drip some of the blood of the damned.
Eventually, after 8 hours of digging, Dolan's is like, this is stupid. I'm out of here.
Yep.
And she finds out that the witch has accidentally set her house on fire.
The witch has set her house on fire.
That's what I said.
I don't think that's true.
Well, she did. She pulled the tablecloth, which knocked the candle over, which started the house on fire. So,
okay,
it would not have happened had she not been punched by Danny and laying on the ground.
That's kind of my point. Is if you leave a blind woman in a house full of candles that is made out of old dry wood,
she still did it.
And then beat her
I'm not blaming her
to death.
Yeah.
And she pulls herself up by something and it knocks over a candle. I think it's still Danny's fault. I think just in general. But yes.
Look, I'm trying to get into the insurance game. So this is her fault. No claims.
Oh, good God. It's way too close to home with the floods we've had in our basement.
I got to get cutthroat.
Yeah, you do. Okay, so now, whatever. Enough time has passed that apparently nobody can help her, and they're just going to leave her there to burn to death.
Yeah.
So,
despite the fact that the other kid said that he saw her get hit.
Number one.
When?
He says that. So he could have saved her.
Yeah.
So he saw the whole thing happen and didn't say anything or do anything. Number one. Number two, Dolan's, instead of running to the house where the woman is burning when the fire
she just runs back to tell them.
Back like it looks like a 10-minute run back to where they are. You can't even see the burning building, so you know it was a distance.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's like, help. We need some help. It's like, lady, you were the one who had the time to help. You were the help,
girl.
10 more minutes and she will be dead.
Yeah.
You fucked up. But also, I like how slowly this thatched roof hut burns, too, because apparently they have time to go run back, run over, see that it's burning, go, it's too late, run away, and then Pumpkinhead has enough time to come back to life, save the old lady.
Yeah.
Again, she's pretty magical, so that's probably why she survives. Anyway, so
did Pumpkinhead bring her to the hospital?
No, the sheriff brought her to the hospital.
Oh, okay.
I think we're told that. I wish so much
that
he had checked her in
emergency room.
There's not enough of him trying to communicate and only going, rah! I'm sorry, sir. I don't know. Does she have major medical?
He's like, Blue Cross.
I'm hearing Blue Cross. Great. Of course it's Blue Cross. Anyway, so the thing in the pit catches fire or glows or something. We get some Halloween store quality lighting as the boards break under the fury of Pumpkinhead. Well, they break eventually, but
it's very cheesy.
It takes a while. And next day, the sheriff is at the scene of the fire, and he says, the old lady, like very last Star Wars movie, he's like, and the old lady survived somehow. Like, thanks. Good job. She passed out, and her house burned to the ground with her inside, but she was rescued by Pumpkinhead, we find out later. Because Pumpkinhead's also a burn surgeon, we find out. Now, we have the I know what you did last summer conversation where they're like,
you're not going to tell anybody. It stays with us.
Yep. We take this to our grave. Yep. And it looks like Amy and Danny have gotten really close since that hit and run and arson.
Yeah.
And beating. It's like the arson, beating, hit and run really brought them together as a couple.
It really brings out Danny's eyes.
Oh, it does. When she saw the fire when she saw the old lady burning to death in his eyes, she was in love. That was it. That was the moment. We all have those stories. So it's so unbelievable. The motivation is terrible.
Yeah.
Again, I love this movie. It's so stupid. Okay, so back at the sheriff's office, a hillbilly hunter walks in with a shotgun and comes up and slams his hunting license on the counter and says, I want a refund for my hunting license. And he's like, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
This is so weird, too, because he saw kids in a red car, and apparently since they went to that witch's house, like, he knows Pumpkinhead's back now? Like, he knows they dug up a grave or resurrected something? It just seems weird.
I don't know. I mean, I have zero idea. I mean, again, this is my retelling of the story. We assume that this plot to bring Pumpkinhead back has been on the table since the 50s, where she was about to do the ritual to bring him back to get revenge, and she couldn't bring herself to do it. Yeah. She was like, it's too evil, I can't do this. But then still left all the accoutrements hanging around because, just in case she changes.
It just seems weird that this guy would know that something's up, unless he's just being super cautious.
I mean, he probably, anytime anything happens with the old lady, he's like, I mean, unless she has brought Pumpkinhead back a whole fuck ton of times to do stuff and just somehow ignored this particular slight. which seems outrageous. But he does know, and he's like, somebody out there riled up that witch, and now I'm getting out of here. I saw them kids over there in that red convertible driving away from the house as it was burning down. And he says, them kids done messed with Satan hisself, is his actual line. And so now ain't nobody gonna be safe going down into that holler. And yep. So it's those rotten teens, and now the sheriff knows that his daughter was involved in arson, and he doesn't know about the hit and run.
He assumes. No, he doesn't know she was there. She snuck out that night.
True.
Remember?
He knows that
she's friends with the people that did it. Yes.
Because Danny has the convertible where he like. I love the way that he like Dan Aykroyd implicates himself in that scene.
Not another one for 50 miles around.
You know, if you saw one. At a crime scene, perhaps?
Yeah.
You know what? It would have to be mine. Couldn't have been anybody else.
But if you go 51 miles down the road, my buddy Tom has one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly the same one. It's weird. But he never drives across town lines.
No, we got to...
So any crime committed with one of those red convertibles is me.
Yeah.
You don't give that to anybody else.
Jesus, we're punchy tonight.
So fucking punchy. So... The dumb old farmer, as he calls himself, tells the judge that nobody's safe until it gets what it came for. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? The sheriff's like, has no idea what's happening. He's from a big city. He doesn't understand these.
No, he's from here.
He's from here, but he was from the big...
Yes.
He's been...
But he doesn't, like...
Why doesn't he know the Pumpkinhead legend if it's so... famous?
He does though. He brings
does
it up.
He?
Remember, he reads a poem. He says a poem at the dinner table.
That's right. He does know about it. So he must know what he's talking about, and he's playing dumb.
So why does this guy? Well, this guy Ernest too, the hunter.
Yeah.
He's just like, she let it out. It's like, what is it? It's like, well, why don't you ask the mayor or the judge? They're the smart ones. And I was like, well, you know what it is, asshole. Why don't you just tell me right now so we can fix this?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like. It's so weird that he drops that and walks out. And especially if he knows the sheriff is originally from that town. Yeah. Why wouldn't he just be like, it's the Pumpkinhead legend? And the sheriff would be like, what? That's just a legend. Oh, and then fill him in.
But then you don't get the kind of actually fairly cool device of him implicating those two people in a way that is like, you don't get enough of it to be like, oh, it's obviously them. I mean, you do know that it's obviously them, but I think it's kind of a cool way to drop that information. I thought that was not exactly subtle, but kind of cool.
Yep.
It works for me.
Okay.
Okay. So sheriff goes to visit Danny and at the judge's house because the judge is his dad, and he finds him washing his car with no hose in sight, and he's just leaving that soap right on there because he's.
I did not notice that.
Pretty funny. The sheriff grills him about the dent in his car, and we get all of that stuff about, his car being completely impossible to miss, and all this self-incriminating nonsense. And his dad shows up, and he's like, you know where I was last night, right, Dad? I was here, not committing crimes.
I was studying.
Remember how I was not committing crimes last night, Dad, right? You remember that? And he does it in that, like a sitcom kind of way, like it would not have been like out of place in Full House.
Yep.
You remember, right? I was studying
upstairs all night.
He's like nodding his head,
not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's real over the top. It's pretty good. But so he's Jedi mind tricked his dad into alibying him, and now he was just there all night studying.
Yeah.
But the sheriff's not.
You ain't
falling
got nothing
for
on
that.
me, copper.
He knows what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And so the sheriff leaves, and the judge yells at Danny, and he says, "You're already on probation for running over another witch." I wish. But so as stupid as that thing that I just said is, remember the first movie? He literally said, "You're on probation for that other girl you hit."
Yeah. They should have done the other witch thing. Damn it.
You're already on probation. You killed 3 witches this month. That's the 3rd witch you
just
over.
burned down the last witch in town.
We've had to move out of so many towns because you've killed the town witch.
Towns need witches.
This town's going to dry up without that witch. Let's see. Cut to the witch's hospital room, and she says, "Oh no, it's happening. He's coming again." And she's got really like,
oh gosh, it's so silly
she's
looking.
got such great rubber makeup on. Like, it looks like she's wearing like a really bad drugstore Halloween mask
that they put some liquid latex on.
Yeah, that they like fixed up and stuck to her face, which is very funny. And it's like, she says, "Oh no, it's happening. He's coming again." To which I again have to say, why do you have the blood of the damned in your house? Do you have a toilet? Can you flush it down the toilet, or does that make turds come back to life?
Yes, hell turds.
That was a better movie than this already. Fucking Lloyd Kaufman's like furiously scribbling down a script. Hell turds. Okay, so I feel like she should at least take partial responsibility, is what I'm saying. If you keep the blood of the damned in your house, maybe do that. Okay, so
as an insurance adjuster, I'm going to take note of that.
Yes. I would absolutely, if you go into a house as an insurance adjuster and find out that they have the blood of the damned on top of
I'm adding $200 a month to their premium.
Absolutely. Jack their premium way the hell up. So our farmer, who never did nothing to nobody, is out feeding his goats, and the wind picks up. Now, this is important, right? This is our first introduction to Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you, the actor playing the farmer here, to give me gravitas. You have seen the most evil thing in all of creation barreling down on you like death incarnate, and you say, "Lord, give me strength." And then wander off like you just heard the teapot boiling.
Yep.
Cut and print.
Yeah,
this is perfect. It was the most nothing shit I've ever seen in my life.
Well, this guy's just a buffoon all around because he goes into his barn. He grabs
both.
He grabs his shotgun. Pumpkinhead busts through with his strobe light, looking all badass.
He's got a strobe light behind his head.
And then he's just like, "Oh," I don't remember what he says. Like, "Well, I'm gonna get you." And like, instead of pointing and aiming your shotgun, he just walks up to him with the shotgun. Like, he doesn't even try to hit him with it or anything. Like, what was your plan here,
bro?
It did not go well for him.
I just want to explain this to all hillbillies in all movies everywhere. Shotguns are ranged weapons. Yeah. You're going to want to get away from the thing you're shooting at. By the time he tries to level that shotgun, he could have kissed Pumpkinhead in the face, and he saw him coming. He never raises it until he is like face to face, because they don't want to have to.
It doesn't even look like he tries to aim, though. He just like walks up to him with the shotgun.
He's just like,
what were you doing?
I was gonna hand him a shotgun.
I was gonna peace off, Frank.
Here, take the shotgun.
I got a pump action for Pumpkinhead. See, it all worked. It all makes sense. Here, take this gun and you go home now. Huh?
Yes, it would have worked perfectly. But he gets direct-to-video killed, and some fucking fake body parts fall off, and blood hits the walls. And
unfortunately, this scene had to be chopped down, or else this movie would have gotten an NC-17. Is what I read.
With how cheesy this looks, I can't believe that.
That's what they said, man. So I really want to know what this uncensored scene looked like. But
I wonder if that's the kind of thing that people say.
Oh no, like
to forgive the fact that publicity. They bought to forgive the fact they bought some fake limbs at Spirit Halloween and then threw them off.
Or it's just like a hype machine. Like, we had to chop this movie down just to get this.
Exactly. It's the kind of thing you say.
But it's a trivia I read, but like
fair. But looking at the effects in this movie, I have a hard time believing that.
And also, why would you care? It's going straight to video.
Yeah, exactly.
Just make it NC-17, you wimp.
And it wouldn't be NC-17 because you don't need to get it rated. It would just be unrated.
Yeah.
And who fucking cares? You release two versions, a rated and an unrated.
Yep. And give dorks like me 2 different boxes to collect.
Exactly. That's the thing. Okay, so he's dead, but the old lady, while this is all going on, she's having fits like Ed Harley was. So is she Pumpkinhead? Dude,
God
it
damn
doesn't
movie.
make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Like, I feel like...
And it happened in the very beginning, too, in the flashback. When they were beating him, she was feeling his pain back then, too.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what?
This doesn't make sense.
Before he was even Pumpkinhead. So you're feeling Tommy's pain?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's half Pumpkinhead. He's Pumpkinhead on his father's side.
Oh, yeah. Why is she...
I don't know.
Shut up, movie.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. So the sheriff shows up, and he takes some photos with his Instamatic. The doctor examines a torso, and the sheriff spots some unusual markings that look for all the world like blood wings. Just kidding. They do not. They look like a check mark. It looks like probably a kind of blood splatter.
It's how I used to draw seagulls when I was a kid.
Yes, it's probably
like
seagulls.
In kid pictures, like when you just make those V's, like these are birds in the sky. Yeah, they're just that. You never drew V-birds?
No, but I mean...
I drew V-birds on everything.
I mean, yeah, no, I absolutely did. I was just thinking about it. I was like, it kind of works, like, because he's like a kid.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And so, like, the idea that he's just, like, doing his kid stuff, I kind of wish we had seen him drawing stuff on the walls. Like, I wish we'd seen him behaving like Tommy at times.
Or if they just showed Tommy playing with crayons, drawing those at the well in the beginning.
Well, I mean, it has to relate to their stupid jackets.
No,
that's why there's blood wings.
So stupid.
It's so stupid. Yeah, being able to put that together, no way in hell. No way in hell. But, okay, anyway. The judge decides that he wants a posse of hillbillies with shotguns to find this bobcat that pulled the arms and legs off a guy.
And drew birds.
Then drew birds on the wall. It's a very talented bobcat. It was Bobcat Goldthwait. And so, why? Fuck if I know, man. It's how it goes. The judge has a great line, though. He says, that guy wasn't nothing but just a scared old boy with a head full of rats. All that stuff about something coming back for revenge, that weren't nothing. And so, Doctor and the sheriff retire to the sheriff's kitchen to discuss the bloody mutilation in front of the family over a pot of coffee.
Odd dinner conversation. I'm just going to bring the coroner home so we can look at freaking autopsy pictures at dinner.
I mean, if this was played as a joke, it would have worked.
Yes.
But they don't. They play it so straight that it becomes absolutely absurd.
Yes.
It's very strange. And we get the closest thing to a record scratch. It should have had a record scratch, but like they're like, oh, do. They see that the scratches on Ernst match the scratches on the old witch's place. He says, whoever killed Ernst was at Elsie's place, and then she drops a dish.
Yep.
And it's like record scratch right there.
Yeah.
I bet you're wondering how I got here. Anyway, so but she's like, oh, no, I wasn't there.
No, not me. I'm just
totally normal.
Say by the phone.
Again, sheriff not good at his job because he already knows that there's a good chance that she was at that site.
He doesn't have the evidence yet.
Yes,
he's a good cop, but he's got to play it by the book.
He's very thorough. I mean, actually, he does basically say that at one point. So the phone rings and she's like, that's probably for me.
Yeah.
And they're like, she seems suspicious today. Anyway, back to our ongoing murder investigation that we're sharing with the family.
That we're going to turn into a nursery rhyme session.
Yes, absolutely. It's Danny. They discuss the murder cover-up over the family phone.
With the door open.
And then she gets called back to dinner where everyone's looking at torso photos.
Yes, that's the best.
The doc mentions that folks around here think it might be some old feller by the name of Pumpkinhead.
Another record scratch.
And the mom in this...
Oh my gosh, this line reads hilarious.
She looks just like Amy Poehler.
Yes!
It kills me. She looks just like she's doing a Saturday Night Live sketch.
Yeah. What? What's a Pumpkinhead?
What? What's a pumpkin? She acts like Amy.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, it's amazing. Okay, but whatever. She is so bad, but very funny. And it turns out even old Dad remembers the poem, and the camera gets very 90s.
Oh my
goes
gosh.
Straight up his nose and is like, dogs and pumpkin heads and something in your bed and something chases something and something.
Can you imagine this actually going down? Like, They're like discussing this murder and trying to solve it, and then it's like, oh, maybe it's this creature monster that's based on a kid's rhyme, and they just like now let's tell ghost stories at the dinner table over our autopsy photos.
And not a very professional police force, but that's probably why he got kicked off the force in
Yeah,
New
he
York.
did not leave voluntarily.
Yeah, totally. There's no way.
He wouldn't shut up about witches and shit.
And his fucking weird brother Frank that keeps coming back from hell. Okay, so we get a double fake out dream. Classic.
Oh god, it's so dumb.
She's making it with Danny in a field in a bed, which is actually kind of a good looking scene. I always like those. Phantasm, it all goes back to Phantasm, the bed in the middle of the field with the
Dr. Caligari.
Well, okay, sure, that too. But yeah, it's great. And Pumpkin Man shows up.
Booga booga booga.
Booga booga booga. She wakes up a second time. So we cut to the only sex scene we're gonna get. Thank you, Linnea, for showing up and doing something very nice for us. That was very kind of you. We love you.
She's a trooper.
She is. She's having sex with a big furry dude who looks a lot like KG from Tenacious D. And he says, this beats the hell out of delivering mail, as if there's only two choices for that you get in life.
Yeah,
fucking Linnea Quigley or delivering the mail.
Yeah. Well, they also say he's retired now. This is a weird thing. Like, I don't know why they did this with this character. He's a retired mailman, and there's just tons of boxes with TVs in them in his house, as if he was stealing the mail. But like, why would there be like, if you're a mailman, you don't just have 50 of the same TV boxes? Like, what?
I don't know.
And it's just weird. Like, I feel like this whole stack of TV could have been accomplished in the same way of just like putting like a big stack of opened birthday cards on the table, and it'd be like, now he's stealing mail. That would make sense.
That's a character.
What are all these TVs and
have
shit?
Have him still be a mailman. Why have him retire?
Why?
That seems like an extra step.
Everything
of
about
nonsense.
this thing makes no sense. Yeah,
I agree.
I retired, but I'm just keeping these TVs in their box forever.
Yep. Whatever. Linnea leaves, and some soft, ironic country music plays.
I love this.
As he is murdered by Pumpkinhead. Linnea screams. She sees Pumpkinhead.
Well, she went outside to get more smokes out of the truck.
Yes. And then we cut and paste Doctor and Sheriff showing up from the last scene and the next scene and every fucking scene we'll see from now on. This is like, it's literally just like...
It's like, man, that Bobcat's out of control.
I mean, it's as though they went through the script and literally took it and were like, chip, chip, dip, dip, dip. Yep. Just drop it in each time, but it's fine. I like this line is so delightfully cheesy. This is like one of my favorite things because Are you
talking about the brain shutting down?
Yes. So they wonder aloud who could hate these guys so much that they murder them so brutally, and the sheriff finds a key to a safe deposit box, and as he finds that, Linnea runs out and she's all crazy, and he's like, what's the matter with her? And she says, she's one step away from being scared to death. It's like, wow. If that had come out of a 50s movie, that would still be a bad line, but I liked it.
And they'd have a thunderclap after.
Oh,
too.
Absolutely. But they've used up all their thunderclap budget on the fake strobing effect for Pumpkinhead.
Oh, it's a very real strobe that Pumpkinhead brings with him.
Very real strobe light. Yeah. Okay. So old ladies on the street are saying that there's a monster in town, and the judge has rounded up a posse of drunk yokels with shotguns.
Because he hasn't learned any lesson from Halloween 4.
Or from Cycle of the Werewolf.
Yeah.
So Amy makes out with Danny and then stops because she wants to confess to her dad.
Oh, no. That's a bad idea.
And
take this to the grave,
and
babe.
we start seeing that Danny's probably going to murder her because that's the kind of thing that he does. There's definitely an undercurrent of like, potentially he's going to just kill her, like for turning on him at some point.
He would too.
Oh, he would, because
he would take my Dolans away.
He absolutely is that kind of person. The troublemaking friends show up, and it seems this convoluted bullshit.
Where does Amy go in this scene? She just
disappears.
She just disappears. They were making out. Does she walk home?
Yeah, she walks home basically.
And then the friends pull up in their car, and they're just like, I think Amy's going to snitch.
You know why? Because I went to the principal's office, and while I was at the principal's office, they left the exact file on the desk that was her file, and so I opened the file because the person left while I was at the principal's office waiting for the principal, and I read her entire file, and I saw in the file that she was, and the babies were looking at me, and I said, and
you just expect Amy Dolan's like 10 feet away, be like, I can hear you. Like, where did she go?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter, and it's just so stupid. But apparently, her friend stole a car, and she was the only one that didn't get in trouble. So she's a rat.
Yeah.
And so they're gonna murder her.
Snitches get stitches.
Yes, but stitches wouldn't save them, so they might have to kill her. So they have an inane conversation where they say something about like, something came back from the dead is killing people, and I'm not superstitious, but
something came back from the dead is killing people.
And it's like, well, I'm not really superstitious either, but if I hit a witch with a car, burned down her house, beat her up, stole a magic potion that brings evil souls back from the dead for revenge,
dug up a corpse,
did
a magic spell,
then actually did the magic spell that was written on human flesh, I might start thinking that maybe these murders were connected to that occult event.
Nah.
Even I might start believing that those events are connected. Okay, they go back to the house to prove. We got to prove that nothing came out of that hole.
Yeah. Oh, crap, something came out of that
hole. Shit. Sheriff goes to open the safe deposit box, finds newspaper clippings that literally spell out everything you would need to know about this story.
This is so weird.
And Tommy's like, you know what? Or the sheriff's like, you know what? I'm a hero. Let me tell you about my hero story about when I saved this boy's life. That's like fucking braggy. Way to go. And so that's important that we know that for later, though.
Yes. And the sheriff saved little Tommy Pumpkinhead's life.
Yes. Amy Poehler comes in and she's like, why would someone save all of this? And I say, you know what, Mom? Why the fuck would someone say he's paying for a safe deposit box for this?
Yeah. Just put it in your freaking top dresser drawer, you freak.
Jesus, if you want to, why do you want to remember that you killed this kid? Like, I feel like don't, but there you go.
It would make sense if they found a confession in it.
That's called hanging a lantern on it. That's like, we've got a dumb thing that doesn't make sense, so we're going to draw extra attention to it by saying, why would someone do this? And that's what they do. Anyway, the doctor comes out and she says that she can't identify the kind of thing that killed them.
It's crazy blood.
Yes. And Bill Clinton's brother shows up and he's mad about something.
He wants the sheriff to find that creature so they can be on the map like the Loch Ness Monster.
That's right.
And it will bring tourists in to see the creature,
yes.
Dead or alive.
Yep.
It's going to put that town on the map. Everybody comes to see Pumpkinhead.
Listen, I mean, go to Terror Threads or fucking any of those places. You can buy Pumpkinhead t-shirts, so he's not wrong.
Yeah.
If there's a Pumpkinhead, you're going to make money off it. So they go to the pumpkin hole, and they find that something came out of the pumpkin hole. And Danny's like, I don't believe that anything came out of the pumpkin hole. It's like, we just fucking saw it. Anyway,
come on.
Cut to the cockfights where Kane Hodder's drinking moonshine and his buddy's harassing a deaf lady who's evidently their sister, and Kane Hodder is evidently sleeping with her.
Yeah, because they're hillbillies. It's funny.
It's funny. Anyway, it's weird because it's like,
I just don't think the incest joke lands. Like, I just think it's stupid.
It's not just stupid. It's like if they were in a consensual relationship where she was like an aware person, it seems like it's non-consensual because she is deaf and mute and is not reacting and is afraid of them. It's like, no, you just turned this thing that could have been if you wanted an incest joke, she has to be like, hey, honey, let's go back to the house where we live together or whatever, and yeehaw about it. Fine. It's dumb and it sucks, but it's not like a horrible non-consensual sex joke, which like boo on this
big
whole
boo
thing.
part on this whole thing.
Yeah. No, thank you. But she watches as Pumpkinhead kills the two bumpkins.
I love when Pumpkinhead throws the dude's head through the chicken coop, and the chickens just start pecking out his eyeballs.
I mean,
Mwah!
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. So it turns out that this lady survives the Pumpkinhead attack because he's like a predator.
And she was also just one thought away from death.
Away from being scared to death. Some more points.
I also love that they're just like, she can't tell us what she saw, though, because she's a deaf mute. She could write something down, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, it doesn't mean that she's not able to communicate.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
If you said that she's an illiterate deaf mute, I would go, oh, okay.
And
fine.
she hates pencils.
She's allergic to writing implements. No, it's fine. All right, we get the sheriff researching stuff when Mom finds the daughter's clothes and they smell like smoke.
She was at that
smoke.
fire. Murder smoke.
So now they realize that Tommy was murdered and it was covered up for some reason. Which goes flatline, so Pumpkinhead's dead, I guess? Nope, they don't care about the rules.
No, they do not care about the rules.
They do not care about the rules. So she dies and then comes back from the dead to deliver a message.
It's like, fooled you.
And nothing in this movie, like there's a lot of shit in this movie that looks like it's straight out of Spirit Halloween.
Oh, this is
like
this
an
is Spirit
animatronic.
Halloween. Oh, yeah.
Spirit Halloween. It like she like pops out of bed like
that could be one of their exclusives for the year.
Absolutely.
Animatronic Witch Elsie from Pumpkinhead 2.
Yeah, the room goes all crazy.
It comes with a strobe light.
And she just tells everybody the same thing that we already knew. Why does she come back from the dead to tell us literally information that we already had? Yeah. It's insane. But it happens. So the witch gives the sheriff a weird necklace talisman thing.
That's not going to do fuck all.
That doesn't... It's a total red herring.
Yeah.
It does nothing. And if it had been the fucking necklace that Lance Henriksen had gotten at the end of Pumpkinhead 1, then we could have been like, okay, that's Lance Henriksen who's possessed by Pumpkinhead the demon, and he's remembering something about his life or something. Sure, whatever the fuck you want to do with that, but this doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, and it doesn't come into play
doesn't
ever.
Matter.
They even closed the movie on it.
Because the first one closed on a thing.
But they already don't care about the first one, so why would they do...
It's so frustrating.
I almost feel you could write out this whole witch hospital shit and just have her die.
You know what I think?
What?
I think there was more to this movie. I think that there was witch stuff. I think that that was made either by her for Tommy, and she gave it to Tommy as a gift, or Tommy made it for her as a gift, and that was supposed to communicate to him. That was supposed to get through his demon self into his human self. When he saw that, it would remind him of his mother, you know, the kind woman who feeds him giblets in the fucking front yard.
I guess he did say that at the end. Like, I saw Elsie, she gave me this necklace.
Yeah.
But that's all that happens.
Right, but I mean, at some point, that could have been the
We should have known where it came from. Yeah.
And I bet they told you. I bet they said it. And they cut all those scenes to make room for the president's fucking brother to show up and talk about his country music career. I have a feeling. So that sucks. But whatever. We find out that it's the Red Wings Auto Club. Whatever, who cares? The judge is the sixth victim.
Yes.
The judge is a weird scumbag. He gets the kids beer and then tells them to go party in a cabin that's on his
it's
property.
it's a guest house out back.
Yeah.
Oh, did you notice this is the same house from Motel Hell, where the judge lives?
That's what it looked like. Yeah. I didn't know that it was.
It is.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
Fun fact.
That's great. Yeah, and then I love that just to fuck with Pumpkinhead here, they even put Amy in Dad's Red Wings jacket. It's like,
oh God, that
from the 50s that looks like it just got made.
Brand new, yeah. She's like, I'm cold. Hold on, let me get you a jacket. Here's my dad's jacket from 30 years ago in high school. That looks brand new.
That looks absolutely brand new. He never wore it one day.
He won't. I mean, obviously, it looks so good because he takes care of it and doesn't wear it. But here, by all means, just go drinking and partying.
He has so many fond memories of murdering a child with it. Okay, so there's a big blow up at the Fun Kids drinking party because one of them saw Danny hit the old lady and beat the crap out of her and leave her to die in the flames.
And Danny's like, I'm going to be an asshole like that guy in the first movie now.
I saw the first movie, and I know that I need to get a gun and threaten you guys.
And I will.
So he does.
Cool dude.
So what I like here is that we also learn that Amy Dolenz has believed that he killed the old lady all week and has been hanging out and making out with this guy and hanging out with the friend group all week.
She doesn't buy his bullshit for a second when he says, like, I didn't hit the woman. She's like, you're lying. No, you're lying. Like, she does not be like, tell me seriously. Did you do this? Like, no, she just knows.
She just knows. She's like, no, I'm making out with you and all this stuff, but I know that you're a murderer.
Yeah.
It's like, you're the person we're supposed to relate to in this story. Maybe don't be a dirtbag. But nobody wants to not be a dirtbag in the story. So now they want to go to the sheriff, but Danny hits one of them and blah, blah, blah. Judge calls his drunk gun nut friends to come to the house, but he hears a noise and there's blood wings drawn all over the living room. There's like 1,000
blood wings. Yeah. But here we get the coolest, my favorite shot of the movie, where Pumpkinhead just busts the door down, strobe lights flaring in the background, and he puts his claws in the frame of the door. It's everything about this whole shot just looks so damn good with all the blood wings on the wall.
Yep. Beautiful. Love it. And so Danny gets really nuts here, and he sends one of the crew to get his car, but the guy is scared that he's going to be eaten by Pumpkinhead. And
why don't they just all go to the car?
Yes.
It's not raining. It's not like he had to have somebody come drive up so they don't get wet. Like, just go.
And here we get a scene that was edited in the wrong place, which was kind of bothersome. They're like, wow, Paul's been gone a really long time. And then it cuts to Paul, who's going to the car. And it's like, it doesn't take him a long time to get the car.
No.
It took a long time because he was killed. So you cut that. That's not the place where you say he's been gone a long time.
Oh, I didn't notice.
It's like you would cut to that and then cut back to them where they say he's been gone a long time.
Yeah.
Then the thing crashes through the window. But so the edit's in a very strange place. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, well. Anyway, he flies through the window dead and they all run away. Pumpkinhead follows them through the forest, and say what you will about the repetitive nature of this scene of them like running through the forest. You see Pumpkinhead a bunch, and he looks fucking awesome.
He does, and the kills are awesome here too.
And he kills people, and they look awesome.
And he kills people half in the way that I wish that he killed somebody in the first movie, where he pulls somebody's head off, but. Oh, no spinal cord. I want that Sub-Zero shit.
There's a lot of goo.
Oh yeah, there is. It looks great though.
He kills Punky first. He impales her on a stick, and then uses the stick to impale her boyfriend, which was pretty good.
Love it.
Yep, pretty good. Also, early '90s interracial couple. I thought that was kind of cool. That's pretty big for a movie like this in early '90s.
Still banned in Mississippi.
I would imagine so. The drunk yokels show up. They light some flares on some really dry grass. Like, even just in the filming of this, I was nervous about that. I was looking at that just being like, what are you doing? What are you guys doing? You are going to burn this place to the fucking ground. But I guess they didn't. So turns out their guns don't do anything. Oh, shocker. They shoot Pumpkinhead. Nothing happens. We get a bunch of people who get killed. Tommy, who is it? Is it Tommy? No.
Tommy's Pumpkinhead.
What's the name of Danny, sorry. Somebody else with a Y
Danny
name.
Danny gets his head ripped off.
Yeah, Danny gets killed. We're all very sad.
Punky and her boyfriend get impaled.
Amy runs and hides on top of the old well where Tommy died. And the sheriff shows up and he's like,
Tommy! Oh my gosh, the sheriff's voice here. I don't know if it's just the audio or is it the delivery? Did you notice it too?
It's really weird.
It's just like a weird, like, Tommy! No! That's my daughter!
I keep forgetting what his name is, but this actor, is one of those people who is somewhere between an unbelievably talented actor and the hackiest hack that's ever lived.
Yeah.
And his choices are like Nicolas Cage weird, And like he's got a real, like he could be a Crispin Glover or one of those guys. He was just like, but he makes those choices. He's so just normally good all the time, and then he was the Scorpio killer in
Dirty
Harry as well, and he had some moments in there that were like, he's like totally normal, and he's like, hey, he did it, Callahan did it. He sounds like a fucking leprechaun. It was him, the big man, Callahan. He did it. He did this to me. And it's like,
where did that come from?
Where did that fucking leprechaun accent come from? Oh, he did it. Twas the little. Oh, was the big guy over there with the big gun? I did it. So that was weird. And so that's what he does here. He's like, no, Tommy.
Yeah, right?
Don't do it, because it's windy out here. So
I know you. Remember me. I saved your life.
I think my character would have like a really sore molar in this scene for some reason. So he's going to talk like that on one side of his mouth. He's just had a grand mal seizure. Oh, what's happening? He sounds like the turtle from the Mr. Wizard cartoon. Oh, Mr. Wizard, no. Anyway, I'm 100 years old. That cartoon's from the 60s. Okay, so this confuses me. So blah, blah, blah. He doesn't kill him because he remembers the sheriff saving his life and all this stuff.
I didn't have a mustache at the time.
There's no way in fuck he would remember who he is.
Yeah.
Again, if he had some like this wasted bauble that the fucking witch gives him could have been something that would have reminded Tommy actually of who this person who saved his life was. But it doesn't. It's just some random thing that...
It'd be great if the witch just pulled out that fire truck toy from her bed. Take this!
I wish that she had pulled out a giant pan of giblets and handed it to him. Take this. He loves these.
Add water first.
They make their own gravy. Yeah, whatever. But after he does all this, we get what is essentially our like Night of the Living Dead ending, where the Hicks show up and kill the
It's
thing
a downer.
Innocent, but he's not innocent. He's part demon. He has killed a bunch of people. He is a force of malevolence.
Yep.
Who has, he's like ruined people's lives. He's killed people who were not responsible for anything, right?
No.
Oh, those two Hicks were part of it too?
What? The cockfighter guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were Red Wings.
Okay. Well,
everybody he killed was on the
Linnea
Red Wings.
Quigley and the deaf lady.
That's why they didn't kill him.
Were not... Yeah, well, they ruined their lives. The thing ruined their lives.
It's collateral demon damage.
Nope. Sorry. That's no excuse. Boo. I do not believe in it. But this ham-handed fucking Christ metaphor at the end,
yeah,
I was
what the fuck was that?
So this demon from hell that murders people is like
he lifts his arms
the
up.
Prince of Peace.
Yeah.
Like the dude that's like supposed... Jesus was not big on revenge killings. So your metaphor falls pretty flat. I'm not much of a Christian, but I know...
He was in the New Testament.
Oh, shit. I should have checked that one out.
Yeah, you got to get that New.
The New Testament. It was called Death Wish, and Charles Bronson played him, and yeah. It's pretty stupid, but whatever. He spreads his arms, gets killed. He gets hoisted up on a cross, essentially. They drop him into the well, and it's a metaphor for man's inhumanity to Pumpkinheads. He explodes for no reason.
Yeah, I guess guns work now.
I guess guns... Well, I mean, the witch is dead. If her soul was keeping him alive...
But then he would have died when she did.
They don't care. Anyway, it's all over. He's exploded in the well. I love that when he dies, he explodes. But Amy and her dad decide to go back to the scene of her crime. Because why not? He finds Tommy's fire truck. And all is forgiven. And Amy is not even slightly traumatized. And then cue the fucking song by the President's Brother that is not very good.
And we end on that shot of the necklace that
didn't do
anything. Yeah.
Didn't serve any purpose. And it's like, what? It's another moment of, again, I don't believe in Christianity myself.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a Christian myself, and I don't subscribe to any of those things. It's fine if you do.
Yep, same.
But to me, the point, I'm as far from a Christian as you could probably get, like as far as practicing religion. I believe in the tenets pretty much, but if I, as a person who doesn't believe in any of this shit, like walked out and Pumpkinhead came out and they were like, oh yeah, this is a demon from hell and it's been resurrected by the blood of the damned. And I saw that was the blood of the damned that was poured on it. I would go, oh, fuck, I was wrong. Like the fact that these kind of movies don't end with everybody being like, straight to church, man.
Yeah.
Fucking straight to church, dude. Okay, I'm so sorry. I was hella wrong, and I'm you know what? I'm going to become Catholic. I'm going to become Lutheran. I'm going to become Jewish.
I'm just going to become all of them. It can't hurt.
I'm going to become Muslim all at the same time. I'm going to do my best to do all of those. Anything that kind of revolves around that type of religion.
That isn't a Pumpkinhead.
Anything that is anti-Pumpkinhead, I do not want to have to deal with that whole situation ever again. It's crazy to me. But, there you go. Some people not even fazed by being confronted by actual proof that there is a God and a devil.
Yeah.
Damn. That is hardcore. That is some hardcore atheism to get past that point. I couldn't see myself doing that.
Nope.
But this is a good movie.
I love this movie.
It is a good bad movie. It is a good, it's one of those things. It's like it's what you want out of a direct-to-video.
It is everything you want out of a direct-to-video.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted the first movie to focus more on. Like there was so much kid action in this.
I mean,
I wanted to focus more on the teens in the first movie. Like, wish we did more with them. Like, they did more with these guys here.
I wish the teens weren't so boring in this. I'm not going to lie. I definitely wish that they had, again, the teens
explored or made them more of a caricature of themselves.
Because making Punky Brewster into, like, the goth, Wiccan, whatever, like, if she had been super into that stuff, that would have really flown. That would have done a lot to help this, And
as much as we talked about Amy going punk, I'm glad they didn't in a way because she is just distractingly gorgeous in every frame she's in.
I felt the same way about Punky Brewster, but I mean, Soleil Moon Frye is an attractive woman as well.
Yeah. Amy's cooler.
I think you need to watch that '90s kid movie. But yes, it's weird. Whole thing is ham-handed. It's poorly handled in some ways, and just really fun.
But the thing is, it's fast. It doesn't fuck around like the first movie with nonsense. It's just like, here's a movie, boom, 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 cool shit, boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
And it's just fun.
It's just fun.
It is pure '90s straight up video horror fun. Yes, I love it.
Yeah, it is.
I've always loved it.
I honestly would almost say that this is the quintessential '90s direct-to-video movie.
Yes.
Like if you needed to shoot a movie into space to explain what video culture was to aliens, it would be Pumpkinhead 2.
And there's nothing out there.
Oh, that wouldn't even make my list. That's too indie for that stuff. I love the movie. I think it's too it's too indie to be like a real, like, in every video store. Like, I don't feel like every Hollywood
even has
video
a video store in it.
It does. No, I feel like that would be like Hatchet for a Honeymoon or one of those movies. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
I never have. Good stuff.
I can't remember. What's the other honeymoon movie? What's the other honeymoon horror?
Oh shit! I watched it recently.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah. Oh damn! What did I watch?
Those are the ones. The ones with the outstanding boxes are the ones that really scream that to me.
No, was it honeymoon horror? Like it had like a couple
Maybe
on a bed.
It. Yeah,
it was drawn illustration.
Yeah, I think that's it.
It was awful, but it was like perfectly awful.
Yeah. That's what I think of. I think of those types of movies that were just like ubiquitous to video stores.
Yeah.
And Pumpkinhead 2 like hit at exactly the right time. Like I was super into Fangoria and I was super into the first Pumpkinhead, and I was just like, oh my God, I was waiting for Pumpkinhead 2 to come out.
Yep.
Like I knew everything about it before it dropped. There was a lot of like I was a super horror nerd at this exact time. Unlike now.
Yes.
Where I've totally gotten over that.
Yep. I only watch movies that were nominated for awards.
Yeah. Only stuff like that in this Oscar season. Anyway, this is we are coming to you from Coast City Comics,
Portland, Maine.
And we don't do any kind of ads or anything like that. We don't do any
because
of that
nonsense.
Because
we love you, and it's annoying.
It is annoying as fuck. I cannot listen to most podcasts because I hate the ads. And so we don't do that, but we do mention that, hey, Coast City Comics and coastcitycomics.com exist, and it is how I afford this weird camera equipment and these things is because it is directly related to this business. This is a write-off for the business. This is our... this is
our money laundering scheme.
Yeah, this is how we promote the business to people out there in the world, is these podcasts.
And
so,
if you're...
Hey, hit us up.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this podcast... there's something in the store you want.
Yeah, probably. If you wasted your time listening to this, I guarantee
there's something here for you.
Yeah.
I mean, us.
We have, I think we listed like 50 horror movie posters on the website recently. So there's all sorts of crazy shit out there. So if you want to support us, instead of doing something silly like, contributing to a Patreon or whatever, buy stuff from coastcitycomics.com.
Yeah. And leave us cool reviews.
And also, we would appreciate reviews.
We love them.
Thank you for that, for everybody who has done it, and we would really appreciate you doing more. Tell your friends, tell everybody.
Yes, definitely tell your friends.
Yes, write an article for the AV Club.
You can buy a Funbox Monster Podcast T-shirt to wear, so you remember to tell your friends when you see them when they say, "Hey, what's that?"
Exactly.
Yeah,
that will remind you.
Yep.
Perfect. Yes. So do all those things, and we would really appreciate it. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.
Hey, really follow us.
Follow us at Funbox Monster Podcast and at Coast City Comics.
And I am Matt Awkward, VHS Fiend on the Instagrams. And check out the Video Vagrants group on Facebook. And we do a movie every Friday night on the Video Vagrants YouTube channel at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It is also VH September is starting up, which is my favorite time of the year on the Instagram. If you don't know what that is, just go search the tag VH September. You'll figure it out, and it is awesome.
Nice. All right. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week. Good night.
Peace.